little melodramatic how quickly it came up too. But again, excited for the opportunity. Obviously, North Carolina Central, they're in the NCAA tournament just like we are, so we know they're going to be a very good team, and that'll be our focus. Obviously, we've been preparing here, a bison preparation the last couple of days, just getting our bodies moving around, and that focus will quickly turn as the assistants start to build a scouting report. Get these guys off their feet, and then quickly turn to some preparation Monday and Tuesday before we go Wednesday night.
This is their third straight year in the NCAA tournament. I think their third straight year in the first four, too. Does that experience, I don't want to say worry you guys at all, but is that something you take into account?
No, we focus on us, and that's what our focus will be about. And I feel like we're playing our best brand of basketball all year, and we need to ride that confidence that we built in Sioux Falls here coming up.
So how much do you use that? How much will you tell the guys? How much have you maybe already told them about what to expect and what this experience is like out there?
We talked about the excitement of just being in there, the little things, the carpet behind the scenes that you don't see, the police escorts, all those things. But I think for them, it's really important to understand that when the lights come on, the ball goes up, we're playing a basketball game, something they haven't done in their entire life. And for us, it was, for most, including the one right next to me, to my right, this is his first experience in Sioux Falls. And I would say he was pretty darn good when it really mattered. And I think that's the big narrative that we need to make sure that we understand is we're going out and playing basketball, something we've done in our entire lives.
Dave, what makes this time of the year so fun? I mean, what's March Madness in college basketball?
Yeah. I don't know what doesn't make it fun. I think you just keep flipping it on. There's another basketball game and another basketball game. And for us to be a part of, what we consider the greatest sporting showcase is a really, really neat deal. And for our guys to experience that, it's really cool. It's March Madness. I mean, I don't know how to, explain it any other way, that this is what you work for. This is the pinnacle of college basketball. And for us to be participating in it, playing our best brand of basketball is really exciting.
Despite the record, Coach, do you think they disrespected the Bison by the seeding?
That's the selection committee was chosen by their expertise and for their expertise, and we're a program that controls what we can control. And we're going to Dayton, and we're looking forward to playing North Carolina Central.
You're leaving Tuesday then, I take it?
I honestly have not. The last I had a conversation with our administration on Friday night, and we were told that if we are in the first four, we would have a conference call, I believe, tonight at 8 p.m., and then we would know more from that.
Tyson, Vinnie, what was that like? Can you tell us what it was like to see your name pop up there?
You dream of that moment, a couple of years ago when I was in high school, just watching the selection show and watching those guys get a chance to play in, every college basketball player's dream. It's that moment, like, you're like, wow, we're here. And, you can't really explain it. It's just a moment that you'll always cherish for the rest of your life.
I have to agree with him. Last year watching it, it was kind of like a surreal moment to see it happening. To see North Dakota State on that screen and to see North Dakota State on my chest is just an amazing feeling.
It seemed like for the guys, it seemed like you see the Duke line come up and then you see your name come up and there was a oh and then oh yeah. Was that kind of the reaction that you guys had? It was hey we're playing the first four, but there's the #1 overall seed looming there.
I mean, I think it was more of just it happened so fast. We weren't expecting to see our names come up so fast, but I'm excited to play North Carolina Central on Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
Not to put you on the spot, but do you know much about them right now? Have you caught any of their games on TV at all? I know you guys have been busy this year. So.
I did watch their game against whoever they played. Norfolk. Yeah, I watched that a little bit, but other than that, I don't know anything.
Tyson and Vinnie, how have you guys learned to bring the chemistry together coming from the conference tournament?
I think it just goes by how close we are on and off the floor. You guys hear us say it all the time, 1 through 14, 14 through 1, this group is so close. And I think you guys are starting to see a little glimpse of that on the court.
Is there something you guys are most looking forward to about this moment? Something you've heard about, something maybe you've seen?
Just winning basketball games, just to be able to get one and say, hey, I won a game in the national tournament is something that you can't take back,
How does it feel to make the NCAA tournament since 2015?
It's amazing.
It's a feeling that you can't explain. It's tough.
Another step, Vinnie, for you this year. I mean, last year at this time you were just finishing JC ball. Describe this year as you're sitting here today.
This year has been a roller coaster, but I'm glad I made the decision to come to North Dakota State. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. The guys did a great job of embracing me right away and accepting me as a family member, not just another teammate. And I'm glad I got to be a part of the Bison family.
Dave, you said a couple times out there, we're a great story. We're a great story. What's that mean to you? What's that come from? And what is it important that you think people really grasp and understand about this group?
I think it's just, for me, it's really cool just to sit here next to two very mature men and just the way they handle their business. And this is I get to sit there at the press conference after we win it, and all they do is deflect. They turn it to somebody else. And that's when you know you've got something. It's really special when they're talking about the things that we're talking about as a staff, and more importantly, not that they're talking about them, that they're actually walking them, that their behavior reflects how they're speaking. It's really neat. And again, I said it as a book that I read, The Dream Manager. And for me to help, these guys, walk and to achieve their dreams, it's really cool. And, again, you talk about Vinnie, Tyson and I, we go round and round a lot. This is a young man that wears his emotions on his sleeve. And there's a lot of people that said this and that about Tyson and myself and how we make, and I think that because we've stuck together, any family has their ups and downs, right? And that's what makes it special. And so that's when we talk about our story. I mean, we've been writing our story for a long time, and we knew. I don't think there were many that believed, but this group, no matter the circumstances, no matter the record, the injuries that we went through, they kept believing, and that's really tough for a young group without a senior to do. And for me to just sit back and watch it, be a witness, it's been a lot of fun. We look forward to it. Yeah, and it's something that I talk about a lot. You're right, Beth. And for a season and a half, you get tested with that. You really do. But the one thing that I want to be about is virtue. I want to have great virtue. I'm not going to waver from that. In the good times and bad, and not going to change who I am, more importantly, who I surround myself with. And very, very confident in who I am. Very, very confident in my plan and vision. And when you get the right guys on board that will buy into it, no matter, it's really cool. There's a lot of validation in the process.
Coach,
Tyson, NDSU's got such a great football tradition. How satisfying is it for you guys to get basketball on that big stage now too?
I don't really know how to answer that, but I want to say, just respect from the football team that, it's a winning tradition here at North Dakota State. And, even though that we haven't really had, a successful last year, but it's about right now. And, just being able to take it on and go to the national championship, you can't really do anything. And I don't really know how to answer that.
It's a fair question, Steve. It really is. But I think if we're all paying attention, look at what our track and field programs have done. Look at what our golf programs have done. Look what our softball program has done. Mike Regan's about ready to blow the soccer program through the roof. Volleyball, Jen Lopez, having a former Bison run it. The football team gets a lot of attention, and we got a lot of respect for that, and we're really happy. We're their biggest fans. But if you take a deep dive into North Dakota State athletics, there's special things going on in the field, in the classroom, on the courts, on the tracks, on the courses all over this place. And, one of my favorite head coaches is Roger Kish. He's got 4 guys in the national tournament. It's a pretty neat department is what it is.
Coach Richman, being that you guys created some of that magic, that spark in the conference tournament, Do you feel like we've attracted more recruits to NDSU?
That wasn't our plan, along the way. And that's, again, not to take anything from your question, but that spark's been building since about January 25th after we got our tails kicked at South Dakota State. You win 5 in a row. And that shot that went in by Jenkins, that 40-footer, it was a punch to the gut. It took the wind out of our sails for a little bit. But that shot that Vinnie hit at Fort Wayne, it was big. The spirit and joy that allowed us to practice with that week leading up to the conference tournament. And so, we're playing our best brand, but we feel like we've been playing as well as anybody in the Summit League the month or so.
You guys have seen MEAC competition before with NCAA. Is there anything special about that conference and the way that they play ball, or
No.
take away?
No, not at all. I mean, I think it's a good brand of basketball. And you watch that game. I watched a little bit of the game Tyson's talking about. Two teams, it was a lower scoring game that pride themselves, obviously, in getting some stops. And that's what we do, too. If you look at the staples within our program, defending, rebounding, taking care of the basketball. And we talk about those things all year because in the most crucial times, that's when it's going to pay dividends. Again, you go back, we turned the ball over 19 times in the Summit League tournament total. 5 times in each of the last 2 games. We did a good job of not fouling. You eliminate those losing plays this time of year to give yourself some chances to make some noise down the stretch, and we were able to do that.
Tyson, kind of going off Dave's point there, what's the biggest thing from the Summer League tournament that you guys hope to carry on the court here going on Wednesday night against NC Central?
Just that defensive edge that we played with in that first and second half, that full 40 that we played in the championship game, and even in the other first 2 games that got us to that point. You just got to sit down and guard. Everything, going off to the offensive end leads from our defense, and I think that's where we really got to step it up, and we'll keep it going.
Vinnie, I want to get back to your season. You're 2-7 at one point, and thoughts of this happening, were they even on the radar at all?
The guys in the locker room never lost track of what the mission was at the end of the season. We knew everything that happened for a reason. And we know that going forward, what we had to do to fix the record, and we are a process-based team. And so we weren't really worried about the results at that time in the locker room, but we knew if we kept doing the right thing at the right time that the right things would happen.
Tyson and Coach Richman, what would you say the improvements are from last year's team to this year's team?
I would say that we really improved on there weren't, I don't know how to put it, not to say like our last year's team wasn't close. It's just a little bit more tighter than, this year. It was a lot more chemistry this year. And, you carry it over, you have, 6 guys, 8 guys, coming in to 6 new guys, and you just welcome in. And I think that's what really just that bringing in that gel. Yeah.
Yeah, getting along Tyson's point, I think it's twofold. There's a joy. There's a real joy. That's not to discredit anybody. We are because of all of Bison Nation or all of our former Bison. But there's a great spirit and joy to this group. I think the other thing, too, is Tyson's a year older. Jared Samuson's a year older. Dane Goo's a year older. Cameron Hunter has a year under his belt. And so we don't have seniors, but we do have our own experience in different ways.
Dave, you kind of been talking about experience here, and I know there's been a lot of talk with no seniors on this team, and a lot of guys coming back for next year. But what is the experience of an NCAA tournament that these guys can take, moving forward? Obviously, you still want get a win on NC Central on Wednesday, but what is the experience of an NCAA tournament?
Yeah, again, these guys, they get it, but they don't quite get it until you really hop on that plane. And to get that taste in their mouth, and then for me to keep that taste in their mouth in the offseason, give them some time off, but then the weight room, the summer workouts. We're going to be up for our 4-year foreign trip this year. And to keep that taste in their mouth when it's 6 a.m., okay, or it's really hot on a Friday afternoon and all their other friends are out at the lakes or whatever, and we're, Coach Miller's, pushing them to do a little more. And, our vision has always been, like Vinnie says, the process, and it's not results-based. But if you attack that process, you can keep growing your vision. And I think that's the thing that I stressed to. I saw some things Tuesday night that I hadn't seen all year. There was a couple possessions where I just felt in my own mind like it's going to be really tough to beat us. And I think if we can start, there and build from there, I mean, that's what's in my thought process.